welcome back to That's Entertainment, where we look at all the interesting entertainment news from last week, this week. Kicking off, great news for exhibitors. Cinemas will be reopening in New York this week. And the city will be brought into line with the rest of the New York states as of March 5th, when they will be allowed to reopen at 25% capacity with no more than 50 people per screen. Masks and other social distancing protocols will be enforced. Cinemark CEO Mark Zarady sees the California movie theaters reopening in the next 2 to 4 weeks, and big summer releases could help light up these theaters again. He's quoted as saying, "The last weekend in May, in that traditional beginning of the summer, you could have Cruella from Disney, you could have F9 from Universal, Fast and Furious 9, I guess, and you have Infinite from Paramount. So you've got 3 big movies. The July 4th weekend," he added, "has Minions, The Rise of Gru, and Top Gun Maverick, which I can't wait to see personally." As other industry figures have done, Zarady has also pointed out to strong box office numbers in China, Japan, and Australia. Remember, we spoke about this last week, as evidence that consumer habits are not likely to permanently change. He also acknowledged some of the many changes facing cinemas in 2021. On showing films from streaming companies, the company is in active talks with several of them. They are either big, important Academy movies or bigger, mid-size commercial films that we would be interested in playing. We would be open to a shortened window, depending on the financial terms. On review of the changes in this theatrical window, as we're seeing across the board in the industry, Mark also commented that it potentially has some negative impacts, but it potentially also has some positive. Paramount revealed its new theatrical window policy last week, that at least some of its upcoming theatrical releases will be launched on their Paramount Plus service just 45 days after they open in cinemas. And this is a theatrical window that is almost exactly half of what it was pre-COVID. Across the board, distributors seem to be aligning array of different strategies, some looking at shortened windows and others at an immediate streaming offer at the same time as the theatrical release. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. Obviously, if COVID resurges and we're forced back into yet another lockdown, then I think Warner's model will probably work better, because at least it allows some content or product to get out into the market, and that's always been the major limiter now. As we saw in Europe over the summer, there just wasn't any Hollywood films to really talk about, so everyone was focusing on local production. Anyway, great news from the industry. I think, a great deal of confidence will be coming back into the market with the likes of California and New York opening up, because these are the 2 bastions of film and cinema in the US. Great news. And there was good news for the UK market as well. The government has begun to gradually ease lockdown restrictions in the UK. And cinemas should be reopening on the 17th of May. It's hoped that Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland will announce similar plans soon. But if you want to stay up to date with the latest news on when and where cinemas are reopening around the globe, keep an eye on our International Cinema Reopening sheet, which we have on a Google Doc and update regularly now each week to keep track of these things, because it's going to be pretty fast moving now that the major markets have just made these announcements. A link to this document can be found in the notes for this show. If you're on YouTube, it'll be in the description below. And if it's on LinkedIn, you just have a look through the post and you'll see the link there. With cinemas likely to open across the US in May, obviously that's given a boost in confidence to the studios. Basically, the slate that was looking very dicey earlier this year for the summer blockbusters looks like it might stay in place now. Of the studio titles scheduled for release in May, they include 2 potential blockbusters, Marvel's Black Widow for May 7th and Universal's Fast and Furious 9 on May 28th. There will be a range of other diverse titles in there that will also be potentially big hits. This includes Peter Rabbit 2, Spiral from the Book of Saw, and Free Guy, currently scheduled for May 21st. And also Disney's Cruella on 28th of May. There's also great news for UK fans for the James Bond franchise. No Time to Die will be debuting here in the UK first, along with other select territories, on the 30th of September, which is great news. Just over a week before it will finally open in the US. This is the 5th scheduled date for this film, So we're all holding our breath here. The movie was originally to debut almost 2 years earlier in November 2019. And there's good news for AMC. CEO Adam Aron and his senior executives, they're sharing an $8.3 million bonus, with Aron receiving $3.7 million. Well done, Aron. How will that go down with the other 30,000 AMC staff, though, who have been furloughed since the start of the pandemic, is really there to be questioned. I can see both sides of the argument here. Obviously, you need your top executive to stay in place, and because they're going to be the ones making all the critical decisions. But I can also see it from the staff's perspective, particularly the ones that have been let go. That's all for this week on Cinema News. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, we publish this show both to LinkedIn and to YouTube. Join us again shortly for our wrap-up of the VOD section of the market and tech news. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Goodbye.